dream.
You are watching HarrisFilm Productions.
Commander Stahl, hailing frequencies are open.
Out in the black where the starlights gleam, a fearless crew still chases the dream. From Salisbury colonies ring blue skies, they light the dark where imagination flies.
Across the stars their cameras soar, capturing legends forevermore. The colonial fleet and Starfleet's might stand side by side through the endless night. Happy birthday!
HarrisFilm Productions, Task Force 78. The stuff dreams are made of, exploring the frontiers we're part of. Through war and through review, adventure spins on, with HarrisFilm blazing from dusk till dawn. A positive, creative voice is now online.
Happy birthday!
The opinions expressed in tonight's podcast are those of the individuals speaking. They do not necessarily reflect the views of HarrisFilm Productions or its other crew members.
Hello, everybody.
Gotta notice that we're live.
Yeah, we're live and something's going on. Hold on. Got something weird going on in my background. Okay, let's see if we can fix that. Nope, that's not it. There you are. That's not it.
Making me dizzy.
Where are we? There we go. Hey, we're live. It's always something going on when you're live, right?
Yep.
So, Beth C says, happy birthday and anniversary. Thank you. As you may or may not realize, I've actually been making films for quite a long time. And in fact, I bought my first camera around 1975. It was around April, around my birthday in 75. And I started making Super 8 films. And, you know, I can show you a couple. I was also a staff photographer. That's the Columbia model I built back in the 70s. Yes, I was on the annual staff. I see you, Jefferson. Only got 6 slots. I'll pull you up in a minute. That's my wife.
Pretty good.
There's David SAWILOWSKY playing Lee Harvey Oswald, as written by Duncan Rankin.
For the Beatles.
David Swanson, Alan Woodward. Shout out to class of 77, 78, and 79.
Oh, that's a weird rocket ship.
And that's out of focus, but it was an experiment. So, hey.
He jumped.
Yeah. Well, it's stop motion animation. So, guess what I do now?
Dylan, it's Commander Stahl.
Who's that old guy?
Yeah, exactly. What happened? Some of the people who have joined HarrisFilm in the last 3 years. Fantastic special effects by mostly Kenneth May.
Is AI generated, Steve?
What's that now?
Is she AI generated?
Oh no, she's real. Yeah, there's a lot of sites that you can get. What's it called? Open source, free, no copyright
Royalty
protected,
free.
whatever. What's the word?
Royalty free.
There you
Royalty
go.
free.
Royalty free imagery. Pixels, PXELS is one of them, and I think that's where that particular clip came from.
Cool.
Some of them are green screen, some of them are just regular things like what we used for Dr. Todd, all of that outside footage of the farms and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That came from a royalty-free site. So a professional photographer goes out and films these things, uploads them, and sells those clips to be royalty-free for use in other people's projects. So what'd you think of that, David? Have you seen that before?
No, I thought it was cool.
David and I went to school together.
Now, were you obviously you were in the class of 77?
78.
Oh,
My wife
okay.
was 77.
Oh, okay. I thought you were 78. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, don't tell anybody she's older than me. So yeah, we you remember we had a mass media was one of the classes that we had at Schofield campus, and I took that in the first semester of the 74-75 school year. Learned how to make Super 8 films, and that's just a sample of some of the best stuff. And obviously with that animation, it's not very good, but hey, I do have experience doing stop motion animation, so I've got that checked off on my list. You know,
that was a blast being in your film. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm hoping to get it digitized in the near future, and maybe get a different audio. You know, we used cassette tapes back in the day. I still have the cassette tape, but I'm not sure what the copyright is on the music that we use. And at the time, it wasn't a big deal. You know, at a film festival, you just provided your film, and if it was accompanied by a cassette tape, then that's what you provided, and you told them how to cue it up, and everything's history. But you know, Schofield won several awards after our class started doing the films, and there were obviously other classes after us that also entered and won film festival awards at the South Carolina Arts Commission Film Festival that they held in the summertime. I want to say it was June or July, something like that, when they held the festival. So people that didn't even know what was going on, you know, they didn't know that was going on, so nobody entered. I wasn't going to enter any of my films because one of the requirements was you had to do cement splices instead of tape splices, which I could not do to save my life. Every time I tried to do a cement slice, it's like it wouldn't stay. It's a two contact kind of a thing, you know, and you scrape off the emulsion on one side and you put the glue on the other part of the film that you're connecting, and you put it in the press it down, and it's supposed to be ready to go in a minute or less, kind of like super glue is now, but I couldn't ever get it to do. And I was afraid that if I submitted a film, I'd never see it again. And it's a one of a kind, you know, they were going to duplicate them to keep them on file, but I didn't know that I was going to get it back. And you're sending it in the mail? Are you crazy?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
right.
This, you know, it's a one of a kind. It's one edit. I don't have a copy. I'm not doing that. So yeah, I didn't enter any film festivals until we started going digital.
Mm-hmm.
So let me introduce everybody. I got a couple of other guys in the basement that I also want to introduce, and then we'll continue our discussion. So first up is Matt Arnold. He's a actor, writer, advisor. And so how's it going today?
I'm doing all right. Just, yeah, I've been here for a while, and I met Steve years ago on with another friend of ours, and I've been
Speaking of friends of ours, hey Jim, how you doing?
Hey Jim, how you doing? And everybody in the chat. I've been was in a couple other fan films also with Vance Major, no budget production. I was in that and some of Commodore Productions too, and been back and forth with different fan films, and also a writer and advisor and actor.
Absolutely, you're one of my important advisors because I need perspectives from everybody in this group. But you've been one of the guys that have been with me for the longest. You and Roy, and of course Ken. You know, so we've been through a lot together.
Yeah, the real truth about somebody got to keep him straight. But happy 50th anniversary and happy birthday too.
Thank you, Roy Ivey. So, welcome to the show. Tell them a little bit about yourself.
Hey, I'm Roy. You all met at Vance Major's Star Chronicle. I played Admiral Vandenboss almost forever, but really I had 10 years. Exciting stuff. Lezlie, it's good to have her drop by. And I enjoy playing Star Trek and doing other acting stuff, and it's all kind of cool to get into this, putting it all together.
And you were also in some Super 8 movies back in the day too, weren't you? And in high school?
I was in some. Yeah, I was actually in a the Apes movie. It was an Escape. Was a kind of a remake, and it was kind of cool. Whatever else, that was a cool project as well for me. We shot it in the principal's office, and we did some other exciting stuff with it, and it was nice. Yeah.
Excellent. All right, one of our newcomers, Mark Ferguson. He plays Dr. Jones. And so tell us a little bit about yourself there, Mark.
Well, I came on board with you about 2 years ago, and prior to that, I did a little bit of work with Vance on a film.
Vance Major, no budget production.
Yeah, and that was really fun. That was during the COVID era,
right?
And it was really nice to be able to stay in contact with people.
And see, that's the one thing that really encourages me. You know, I'm medically retired. I couldn't go out around COVID time. You know, I had to stop going everywhere, and we're able to connect via StreamYard. I can direct you. We can have little meetings, and you know, it's like being with other people, but virtually.
It's this film world has been really a great thing for me. It's just let you guys know, it's Parkinson's Awareness Month, and I do have Parkinson's, so it's kind of I'm really this acting has really kept me busy in voiceovers, and I've had a lot of fun with it. And thanks for bringing me on board.
Excellent. You're welcome. And you can see Mark in Dr. Todd's Decision, which we released, I think it was in December of last year. David SAWILOWSKY.
Hi, Stephen, everyone. David SAWILOWSKY. I'm new to the group. Been coming for a few months and thoroughly enjoyed everything. And I really appreciate Steve letting me, you know, join the group and everything. And I just like to hear all the different comments and perspectives of everyone. Everyone has so much experience with, you know, making these films and analyzing them and critiquing them and all that kind of stuff. So really, I'm learning a lot by just listening in. I have done one voiceover as David Roshenko. So,
yes. And that'll be on, I think we're calling that Introducing Captain Cartier.
Ah, right,
Cartier.
right. The
Yeah,
interview with Captain Cartier. Yeah. So looking forward to that. And, you know, maybe some more speaking parts in the future. Yeah, looking forward to it. Yeah, happy 51st for Harris Films, and happy birthday, Steve.
Thank you. And of course, we got Ken Mays. I'm going to take a couple people out of the room so I can introduce the other people that have joined us. Okay.
I'm afraid of the dark.
All right. So Ken Mays.
Yeah, I've only known Steve for, what is it, 5 years now?
Something like that, around 2022, 2021,
yeah,
something like that.
3 or 4 years then.
Yeah, we met through Kenneth Thompson.
Yeah. I was recommended for slave labor, and I've been
he's a VFX artist, so yeah. I worked with Kenneth Thompson for a while on some of the Saladin shows that he's working on, and we filmed a couple of things for Captain, Shaw, I guess now, but at the time it was a different name. And I said, well, I'm trying to resurrect my show. What do I do? And he's like, you need to talk to Ken, man. Just don't overwork him. I said, don't worry. I'll just chain him to the desk. So I appreciate everything you've done. Got anything going on you want to talk about tonight?
Not really. I've been working on building a control center for the K2 space station for Steve. And it's slow going. Got so many other things going on and everything, so I get into this when I can. I add a few details, save the file, and then run off and do something else, and come back to it. And so yeah, I'm making progress on it slowly but surely. The last thing I did is I added a spiral staircase going down to the deck below.
Ah, yes. And you also have experience with Super 8 film.
Yeah, but it's been many, many decades now.
Of course it
Yeah.
has.
Yeah, we had a school project where I played the monster Grendel, and I got chucked off a cliff. Literally, I was thrown off a cliff. I was
That
supposed
had
to
to
go
hurt.
one way, which was a gentle hill that I would roll down, but they chucked me off the other side, which was a sheer drop about 15 feet.
Right.
Gee.
Now, I hit an outcropping on the way down and bounced, but it still
I would have
hurt.
paid money to see that. You bounced?
Yeah.
Oh
And
my
it was a
God.
situation where we turned the film in because it was a school project. We turned the film in, and after one showing in class, we never saw it again.
Right. It disappeared.
Yeah,
That's the way it goes with Super 8.
we suspected the teacher kept it.
Well, I know that our teacher kept most of the ones that we reproduced, and I think that was the way to go. I mean, that should be a central, library or a
Our
central
teacher told
location.
us that he lost it.
Mm.
Mm.
Well, it's very possible that a film festival actually kept them. That's why I was not going to, submit my films. But this is the thing you're talking about that you're building for us.
Yeah.
Okay, now this is in Ken's backyard.
No,
That's a
it's not
spiral
Ken's
staircase
backyard.
going down around the elevator shaft. Here's the details that I've been adding to the. I've got.
Oh
This
yeah,
is
look at
actually
that.
that's actually the back of a Z800 workstation.
Yeah, computer.
And down here, you got the front of a Z800 workstation embedded into the console.
Now that's interesting.
And
It includes
and a
the DVD
Dell.
drive.
Yeah, this is a Dell 990 right here.
Awesome. I love Dell and HP. Those are my main PCs
Yeah.
and laptops.
Yeah, I built these models separately as part of a different project.
Mhm.
So I imported them and just stuck them in right here. And of course, I added this new console here. But I've designed it so that once I got all this done, I'll be able to just select it and then from directly overhead, rotate it into the position so I'll have an exact duplicate on this console. And then again over here, again back here, because these will all be identical stations. So it's a quick and easy way of adding detail without, it being too obvious that it's just been cut and pasted.
And can you work in Blender 3D version 4.21, is it?
I usually use that for rendering, but this is the version that I'm most familiar with for modeling. So,
And that's what version?
this is 2.79. It's
because it's stable. And
yeah, and it's about 10 years old now.
Right, but if you continue working in it, it doesn't have a problem with the models you've already created. I got it. Okay.
Right.
All right. Well, let's talk to our Mr. Mudd. Take your mute off there, buddy. This is Bruce Turner, aka Harry Mudd. He's wearing one of the androids. He's an android tonight. That looks good.
The old pirate. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
am I real? Or am I a copy?
So, tell us a little bit about yourself there, Bruce.
Well, I don't know how's it long it's been? What, about 6 months? 7 months?
Whenever the Vegas convention was.
Well, the Vegas convention was last August. So maybe it was
either August or September we met. Yeah.
Hi, Lezlie. She said hi to me. So, but yeah, great. I mean, I'm enjoying it. Yeah, I actually spent a little bit of time with David Chang yesterday. We were going over some lines, doing some audio and some filming different scenes.
For
But,
In Deep Mud, Task Force 78 In Deep Mud coming up soon. Hopefully, we won't give a date exactly, but hopefully before the end of the year.
It sounds like fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, this is something that I've been wanting to do for a while. I've been asking myself, what can I do? I'm about ready to retire from work.
Right.
And when I retire from work, like, what am I going to do in my spare time? And everybody tells me you got to do something where you're enjoying life.
Absolutely.
And then, boom, I get this call. And so I'm enjoying it, and I'm enjoying spending time with everybody here with Harris Films. And, you know, hopefully I'll get a chance to meet you all in person.
Well, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Nothing else, stop at a Starbucks somewhere. It's got a light at a mall, you know, in the food court, right?
Yeah.
And hang out. So, Jefferson Kelley, met you through No Budget Productions, and of course you're muted or something.
No, I just haven't said anything yet. I was trying to think of a good opening line. I'm just very quiet. I'm like, so I've had this reputation of so I'm a real tall guy, 6'5", and you know, I play football, so I'm a big guy. But I can walk very quietly. Like, I just appear in places and no one knows I was there or came up. And so yeah. So yeah, so I No Budget Productions, done some stuff with Commodore Productions, and got to do some fan films with some of you guys, which is great. I've enjoyed being part of it. Always wanted to be a part of Star Trek fan film, and someday do my own, which I've done a couple. And
Time and again, yes, I love that series.
Awesome. Yeah. Glad you like it. You know, hopefully written some more. Hopefully we'll be able to do some more. However, they do require me to do some traveling, and hoping that the prices of, you know, flying come down at some point, because it's a little steep right now. But to do it right, to do it the way I want to do it, is some on location stuff with some of the people. But yeah, I now I saw in your intro there a video at Aiken High School, class of 77. And you know, it's funny, I kind of did a double take there, because here in Cincinnati, there's an Aiken High School that we played against in football. And I was thinking, wow, what a coincidence that you hardly ever see schools with the same names. Like, I don't know how they do it, but I don't think I've ever come across any school that I've seen or heard of that's been the same like that. So I thought, yeah, that's pretty interesting. But I've always enjoyed interacting with you guys doing the fan films. Now, your birthday, so happy birthday and happy anniversary. So the anniversary is for HarrisFilm Productions.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Wow. So that's been
1975, dude. It was like April of 75.
That's awesome. I looked that up thinking, am I reading this right?
Yeah, crazy, right? That doesn't make any sense. This guy's not that old.
Right. Yeah. It wasn't adding up. It's like, what, did you start when you were 12 or something?
15.
You know.
Yeah, 14, 15,
right.
Yeah. I was just turned 15 in April that year, I think.
Well, congratulations, man. That's awesome.
Thank you. Did I cover everybody? I think I did. All right. So let's see. I would like
I
to.
won't occupy a spot for too long. 'Cause, I've got to join my fiance and her son for late dinner, and
Okay.
we spent the day. Let's see, today. My daughter, she's doing 2 sports this season, which I
Wow.
thought was crazy. Like, you know, yeah, her mom told me she's doing softball and volleyball, and I was thinking, ooh, you know, I mean, that could possibly lead to early burnout doing 2 sports in the season, but she wanted to do it.
Wow.
You know, I thought, wow, that's
Overachiever much?
yeah, yeah. I mean, when I did 1 sport a season, that was more than enough.
Yeah.
But today, and it's not going to be like this every day. There's a game, but today it just so happened that there was a softball game, then she had a volleyball game, and then softball game, like back to back to back. So luckily they were all on the same side of town, but you know, it's still that's a lot for a kid on a weekend. And even if she only did the softball, her team played twice today, so there were still those 2. And a volleyball happened to add a third game. So yeah, and it was hot. It was hot earlier, so we were out there in the sun broiling for a little bit. But the later games, the weather got better. But you know that feeling you get it when you've been in the sun for a while and you finally get cooled off. You just feel like tired. You know, like the sun sucks some of the energy out of you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So there's
Yeah.
that, and I've got to look forward to another work week. It's like, oh, you know, really. I wish I could. I need to remind myself to buy a lottery ticket so I can play the lottery. I want to win the lottery so I can just not have to work anymore.
Absolutely.
That's life goal. But you know, every time I go, uh, I had to stop at UDF today to fill up my coffee and forgot then. And I go to Kroger a lot and just like I can't remember to get a lottery ticket. So maybe it's just not meant to be.
You got to buy the ticket. You got to buy the ticket to win it.
That's yeah. I'm trying to figure out how to win the lottery without having to buy a ticket. So I haven't figured that out yet.
Good luck with that. All right. Well, I appreciate you dropping by. Be sure to drop by Jefferson. What's the name of your podcast?
Beyond Trek Podcast.
The Beyond Trek podcast on YouTube. And of course, Time and Time Again. Time and Time Again is another film from another group. But Time and Again, there's 2 episodes out already. And you might notice that we have both episodes up on HarrisFilm's YouTube channel.
And I appreciate you doing that.
Dude, you know, you're part of the group and we appreciate everything that you do. We try to support you, and because you have always given to us. You can also see Jefferson Kelley in the upcoming film In Deep Mud. Can I press a button or what?
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking forward to that one. That's going to be awesome. And you got the best Harry Mudd. I mean that you know.
There you go.
That's gold right there to find someone to play a character that at least has, you know, something of a resemblance to that character. That doesn't happen that often. So yeah. Well, thanks for inviting me. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it, and glad you had a good turnout for it and all of that. So you know,
Yeah,
look
well,
forward
speaking
to.
of that, Jefferson, you could play Benjamin Sisko just as
Well, he
easily.
could. Yeah. Yeah. I understand why you went with Preston, and I appreciate that you did, because Preston fits perfectly in the TOS and Phase 2 timeline. We were, you know, In Deep Mud is taking place in 2267, which is the TOS area, and Dr. Todd's Decision is around 2275, I think it was, and that's obviously Phase 2. So, you know, you fit in both of those eras very well as Preston Sisko. In fact, what was the name of the film? The Unmade Mind?
The Unmade Mind.
Captain? Yes. So, yeah, check that out too. I made a guest appearance. Appreciate the opportunity. And hey, that was a fantastic film. Did you win an award for that this year?
No, no, I didn't win any of the awards this year, which is fine. You know, I'm in it to enjoy it and tell a story. But there's so many great films out there. You know, there is stiff competition. But you know, I'm very happy of the ones that I've been in and have gotten to do. Just you know, getting the compliments from those I you know interact with in the fan film community is great. You know, that's what I like. Uh, Maybe one of these days, you know, I'll put out something that gets an award, but you know, in life, I've gotten plenty of awards, so it's like I don't need it. You know, I'll submit for it, but you know, you just kind of get to a point where it's like, you know, awards are great and all, but there's better out there than what I put out. That's more deserving.
Well, I don't know about that. You know, I could tell you that I did work on the film with you guys, and the sound is amazing. I don't know how Dave Candage pulled that off, but you know, Dave Candage was the main editor on that film, and he always does excellent work. He uses what is it called? DaVinci, Ken? DaVinci.
Think so.
Yeah,
DaVinci
DaVinci
Resolve.
edit. Yes, DaVinci Resolve, the free version, I think. I don't know for sure, but he works on a Mac, and so I mean, when you're talking OSs, it's like apples and oranges. But when you're talking about editors, at least I know what he's doing. And thank you very much, Dave, and No Budget Productions for The Unmade Mind. That was a fantastic film. Thank
Awesome,
you for
thank you.
stopping by, and
Yep.
you know, keep in touch. You know, we've always got stuff going on.
We'll do that. Awesome. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
Okay. Have
All
a
right.
good night, buddy.
Yep. Catch you later.
Bye. All right. So, playing musical chairs. There we go. All right, David, you still there? All right. So, any questions or comments out there? Jim, you got any questions for us? Lezlie, Beth, I don't see who else is out there. We got a low crowd. It's a Sunday night. Everybody's at church. And Lezlie, if you find the link that I sent you for StreamYard, you can pop in for a few minutes if you want to. It's up to you. No pressure. So
Yeah, feel free to drop me into the basement if you need to bring somebody else in.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, Matt left the group, I think, just to watch online. So, what's the favorite of your most recent works? What are you saying? Out of the things that we've actually released? When's the next movie coming out? Well, that's a good question. Well, it's hard to say what my favorite is of the films that we've done. It's, you know, it's like they're all our children, you know. If you tell one of them that they're the favorite, then they'll hold it over everybody else, right? But I will say that Dr. Todd's Decision was very special for a lot of reasons. We lost Martin Bennett last year around this time of year. And right before that, we had been spinning up to put him in Deep Space Station K2 as the chief medical officer. And so he's like, man, I've got this idea for a movie. And I said, well, okay, let's hear it. And he's like, I'll just send it to you. I mean, we talked about the idea, and then he recorded his voice. And I didn't edit anything out. It was perfect. He just he laid out this whole story, and I said, well, you know, if you can't get out to the local pastures to film yourself out there, then I can find this royalty-free video footage, you know, and complete the film. And he's like, oh, that's awesome. Let's do that. So that's the last I heard from him, and so it was a passion project for me, and we actually had in this the Director's Choice Awards, the Star Trek Fan Film Director's Choice Awards this year. We submitted 3 films, and Dr. Todd's Decision actually got runner-up, or tied for runner-up, for Best Audio. And that tickled me pink, because that soundtrack was like 25 deep in some sections. Some of that was the local birds here that I record periodically, you name it. And there's a bass sound that you have to put down so that the entire film has a consistent sound, and music and all of that. So that was a really cool output or result. So at this point, my latest film, I guess, which we released in November last year, Dr. Todd's Decision, is the closest thing I can say to a favorite. But that doesn't mean that it'll be the last favorite, okay? Because we've got a lot of good stuff in the pipeline right now, and I'm telling you, we're getting better. Okay, I'm not trying to brag. I'm just saying, as we go along, we're getting better. So I think you can expect a little bit better quality as things progress. Just like you'll see a difference between Captain Ross' Final Message and Where Do You Go? And a little bit of a difference between Where Do You Go and Dr. Todd's Decision. It's a different genre. It's more of a, Dr. Todd is more of a diary, a log, a doctor's log or whatever. So, things, we learn things. Thank you, Lezlie. We learn things as we go along, and we're a small group. You see, the people you see on the screen, plus a couple of others, are who's the backbone of this group. And of course, we have some backbone actors like Lezlie, who pops in and does some special stuff for us. She's coming up in a couple of films that we're making. We've got a Warp Speed and a Turbo Lift, where she plays a Pirate Queen with Admiral Vandenboss over at Deep Space Station K2. And that was a fun film shoot. And we thank Nature's Hunger, Joe Cepeda, for filming that for us over there at his big old blue screen. And he had a big support team, man. I saw photos from the background, from when they were filming. And they had a guy in a blue suit with a sword fighting with Lezlie. And, they had the video photographer, and it looked like somebody was keeping up with the script. It was wild. So thank you very much, Joe Cepeda, for your support and helping us film that, because we couldn't have done it without you. All right. So I'd like to do a flashback and actually show you my terrible, unedited or rough edit movie that I made back in the 1970s. It was a Super 8 sound film. It was the first time I tried to use Super 8 sound film, and obviously it's missing special effects. The sound is bad. It's a bad video conversion because I filmed it on a wall back in the 80s. Okay. And so this film, you'll see me.
That project you did with George Lucas?
No, it's before George Lucas. So this was, I actually filmed it back in like 1989, 1990. So you'll actually see what I looked like back then, and also back in the 70s. So here we go. I apologize for the sound. I know it's not great.
You are watching HarrisFilm Productions.
Welcome back to HarrisFilm. We've gone through several different stages, and at one time we're in the Super 8 millimeter mode, where if you remember back that far, you actually loaded a cassette of film into the camera like this, shot your movies, and then sent them off for about a week, and then the film came back. When it came back, you had to edit it. Came on little rolls of 3-minute film. This is several rolls of 3-minute film. It's 200 feet. Each roll is 50 feet. So it's about 3.5 minutes actually. So this right here is about, what, 20 minutes at 18 frames per second. And then you've got the big variety, especially if you were shooting sound movies, at 24 frames per second, a 400-foot reel of film. That could be quite expensive, even in 1977. Sound film was about $6.50. Has a magnetic stripe, and when you played it through the proper projector and synced up the sound at 24 frames a second, if that's what you filmed it at, everything came out like the movies that you went to pay to see, if you had a good director. I'm not going to admit to being a good director. I was learning back in 1976, 77, and 78. So what you're going to see tonight is the results of an earlier HarrisFilm production and the way it didn't happen. Why do I say the way it didn't happen? Because of budget problems and the expenses that I tried to explain to you already with the film itself. The film cost me over $200. So I ended up with about 30 minutes or so of non-usable film, which was still funny enough to keep, and about 15 minutes of good film that I was going to attempt to edit at a later date, which never arrived. So first we'll see the goof-ups, and then you'll see the serious portions that were salvageable. Enjoy. This is a piece of the action. Another piece of the action. Take off from Star Trek.
Okay, we're not going to watch the bloopers. This was my scripts from the day, you know, back in the day.
With a mark!
I was proud of that character generator. That thing, but that's years ago. Obviously, that's what it is. Okay, Elizabeth, you're out there. You haven't seen this in a while.
Yeah, pull up a chair and sit down. First off, I'd like to express my dignity, and I'd like to give you a little gift. Okay, boys, let them have it.
Obviously, we didn't have insert missing footage.
Man, you are so stupid.
I don't think our actors were going to win any awards either.
Oh, wow, boss, you made my birthday. Hey, boss. Next up to it. Oh, geez. Maybe I do need a little bit of help. What does this get? Oh, no, I see that you can't. Careful with this and keep me posted. Stop, boss. I'll put it in the car as soon as I figure out how to run it. I think I have you swimming in cement slippers. Yes, sir. Get the cops to help me put it in the car.
He does his own stunts. That was David Swanson.
Son doesn't. I was so scared to start making so much noise. A guy can't even think and figure out his balance sheet. Then I called Floyd. Hello, Floyd.
And of course, special effects are missing. It's supposed to be a captain's log here. We beam down.
Okay, I like how I understand what he's going
The guy was caught in a pattern buffer.
Hell. Yeah, stop. Yeah.
Hey, hands over your run.
And the guy in the middle is Robert.
What chick you still on, buddy? I'm ready to play some chicks. Oh, my car's stolen, Will. White moves first, you idiot. Oh, hold it, man. Listen. What you got your sunglasses on for? It's my image. It's not you without your cigar. Where's that? Don't move. Well, I'm trying to cut down on that mess. Your mom won't let you smoke no more. Boy, you cheating on me. I'll forget it this time. Let you jump there. Here you go. There's a bad noise in this thing. I can't describe it now. Let me see about this thing here. Great bass.
Rich and famous.
I don't know what it could be with it. Oh, I don't know. Let me see here. Here we go. Alright, we got it. Turn it off. Alright, whose move is it? I guess it's yours. Okay. Don't move. I guess I can put, yeah, I'll put that there. That's your black piece. Move it. Don't say that around us. Us cops. It's very depressing. It makes us place around here. We don't use that except in prisons. Oh, okay. It's very depressing to us cops. Conscience? Just go ahead and move. I don't care. Let me see. Whose move is it now? I'll tell you what, y'all ain't never learned how to play checkers, right? All right, Fritz.
I like our southern accent.
Oh my God. I'm gonna end up losing this. Don't move. Don't move. There you go. What is this? You can't jump two of them at the same. God. Cockskin. That is good enough. Look at that. That's a pretty big bag that girl's carrying over there. Yeah, you know these different styles these days. What is this?
Well, sweetheart. Come on, let's get out of here and fast.
They're dragging somebody out over there. Hey, wait, what about the game? I'll forget about the game. I'm gonna see what they do. What about the game?
Don't fight me.
Something went wrong. Somebody just ripped off the joint we were gonna hit. You better iron things till I get there. I'm on my way. Over and out.
Why are you looking at me?
How old was that car?
The car?
Yeah. Just out of curiosity.
I think it was a 75.
75. So it was like a new car.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Let me think. We filmed it in 77. I think it was a 70 something. It was the early 70s.
Okay, so it was a modern
Something
car.
like that, yeah. I'm sorry, I missed that.
Oh, I was just saying, it looked to me like a 1960s car.
Might have been late 60s, maybe. It was Tom Allen's. So, you know, he got in trouble. And after we filmed, he had to get the car rack removed from the top of it. What was it called? The cargo thing on the top, the cargo rack. Yeah, he had a. We used to work together at Milo's, and after work, we were cutting up in the parking lot one night, and spoiler alert, cops got involved, and we all went to the nice little county jail for a few minutes as they interviewed us for being stupid, riding on top of the car. and you know, teenagers doing teenage stupid stuff. And when his parents found out, he had to remove the car rack from the top so that we would never do that again. So any other questions?
Oh, that was very fun.
Thank you. Well, there's another interesting point to that particular film experience, and that is I was 17, 16, 17 years old. So it was July. Yeah. So I was 17, and I called the bank. I called the cops. I can't remember all the people I called, but I called a bunch of people because there's no such thing as a film permit in Aiken, South Carolina anyway. And besides, I was a guerrilla filmmaker. I really didn't believe in, that kind of a paperwork trail. So you never know when you're going to be available, when everybody can actually show up to a film shoot, So telling the bank who's closed, the bank is closed on Sundays. Hey, we're going to be in your area filming, that stairway was in the building that housed the bank. And when you go up those stairs, if you had actually opened that door, that's the bank upstairs. That's the way it was designed. And Farmers and Merchants is what it was called at the time.
Right.
David.
That's what I was going to ask you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on the corner. And was that Julia's dress shop across the street with the awning?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And I filmed the other stuff in the alley. I'm sorry, what?
Was the door closed then? It was Sunday.
Yeah, they were closed. They were closed. But somebody was actually upstairs working for some reason in that room. And it was a glass, window in the doorway like houses have for some reason. I mean, that's not safe. Why would you have a glass, in a wooden door on a bank upstairs? It doesn't make any sense, but they did. And the person saw us with the machine gun, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm getting robbed," And they called the cops. So the cops showed up while we were outside filming. And I mean, if that had happened today, it would have been dead. People they pull guns on anybody that looks like they're holding a gun. So, and our props did look realistic, even though they were smaller. They were toy guns. Okay. I had I had a pistol, a cap pistol. Sharon Moody had a cap pistol. And
they looked a lot like those hoodlums that were running around the parking lot, hanging onto the back of the car.
Yeah, exactly.
So I would view them as highly suspicious.
Yeah, we were a suspicious bunch.
They were up to no good. Yeah.
And we got in the paper, but they got all the facts wrong. I had I cut out the segment that showed my teacher who was there, Beatrice B. Stevens, who taught us mass media. I had invited her to the first day of the shoot, and she's like, "That's it, I'm done. I'm done. I've run the interference for you with the cops. I'm not coming back to one of your shoots again. It's not happening." Which is funny because then she invited me to be their wedding photographer for her daughter. So, okay, I won't go to your shoots, but you can come to mine and shoot. So, do you remember Mrs. Stevens, David?
I don't.
Okay, she her father was a filmmaker in New York. So, all right, well, there's that. So, any questions? We've been going at this over an hour.
That took a lot of guts. You still did that, and you still involved her.
Yeah. Thanks, Kenny. Well, I appreciate that. But like I said, I was 17 years old. I was trying to call the bank and get permission, or at least tell them that what we're going to do. And I'm still partially reinforced by that experience and others that it's a lot easier to ask for forgiveness sometimes, than to rather go through all the hoops and then be denied what you have a legitimate reason to do something that you're not hurting anybody. It's just like these auditors, First Amendment auditors that go out and film. Some of them have an attitude problem and they provoke problems. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about the fact that this was 77. I was out there with a camera and a tripod and people in costumes. It was obvious what we were doing. Okay. And we had the right to be there. First Amendment. It was Sunday. We weren't bothering anybody. Okay. So I stand by my guns on that. And all of the films that we did after that, you know, with David, and we did a film called what was it? The Great Train Robbery 2. Okay, we basically did a remake of the Great Train Robbery, but the cowboys were on bicycles. And we have this little depot in Aiken back in the day. Now it's the visitor center, but there was almost always a train or a train cart there on the track, just sitting there. And we went and filmed in and around that train car. Didn't have permission. It was on a Sunday. Nobody else was around. What's the problem? You know? So that's the way it was back in those days, anyway.
Great idea. Yeah.
Oh, at least you weren't pushing the train cars around like.
No. We weren't malicious. We might be mischievous, but we're not malicious. So, all right. Any other questions or comments out there, peoples? Okay. Do I have anybody in the basement that I need to rotate in? No, we're good. All right. So, all right. Well, long story short, I did not finish the film, but I mean, you got to see what I have. Hopefully one day I'll actually get that properly digitized and upscaled and use some of that in one of our stories as a flashback or some kind of
clean the sound up quite a bit too.
Right.
I couldn't understand any of the dialogue.
Yep. And see, that's another example, Ken, of sound mixing with music. You got to know when to, you know, blend it in and not to have music when the dialogue's going on. But that's the problem is
add subtitles.
Yeah, that's another idea. You can do that in the digital age. No big deal.
How did you record your music, or I'm sorry, your sound?
Okay, so that was Super 8 sound film. Thanks, Beth. Super 8 sound film. So it's a magnetic stripe on the side of the film whenever you record originally.
So you only use the camera sound?
I'm getting there. After it was edited and I wanted to add the music, there's a problem because the tape splice covers part of the magnetic stripe, obviously.
Yeah.
So there's some sound issues whenever I'm playing music or I recorded music over the track, and you got one chance to get it right. Okay. If you mess up, that's it. Your sound's hosed. You can't go back and re-record it. And I didn't have a backup recording on a cassette tape or anything. Whatever I had was recorded on that sound stripe. So when I edited what I wanted and I thought I had it the way I wanted, then I added some of that James Bond type music. And you can see in one or two shots when I did a cut that the sound just stopped instead of, you know, doing what it should do normally. Right. But that gave me some invaluable experience in Super 8 sound film. So, you know, it's a learning experience. I'll take it. Any other questions or comments? So obviously, after high school, I had a 20-year military career and learned a lot of stuff, did some public affairs type stuff, among other things. Very few of my articles or anything that I wrote are available or even have a byline with my name on them. But I imagine they're probably sitting in some vault somewhere, you know, the videos and the photos and everything out there with, you know, the Ark of the Covenant in one of those big warehouses, you know, like in
the military classified everything you did for them.
At least for official use only. They did, actually. Yeah. So, yeah. But I do have some stuff that I shot myself.
Probably all down in Guantanamo Bay. They use it to torture the ISIS prisoners.
They probably do with a couple of my training videos. But I do have a documentary that I shot of the Marines demonstrating various types of weapons that I plan to digitize and put online. I made a copy of it. I have the master tape, but I made a copy and sent it to the Marine Corps and the Navy and everybody that should have had it back in the day. It's unclassified, and it was enjoyable for me. Thanks. Good night, Jim. Thanks for being here. So, you know, that's the dealio. After my career there, I became a computer guy and did, you know, like weddings and stuff like that on the side. And then I got laid off, got sick, got laid off, and basically became medically retired. And I was looking for something to do. I hooked up with Kenneth Thompson back in the day, and Adam Mullen and Vance Major got involved in their projects. One of them was actually we did 2 audio dramas in the Defiant series, Defiant project that Adam Mullen put together. One of them is called the Ventac Code. I can't remember the other one right this minute. Dark something. It's a mirror universe type episode. I played Captain Baxley, and I did some bit parts for Vance Major and a bunch of stuff. And finally, Vance was like, you know, just do it. You know, don't be embarrassed about what you're doing. Just, you know, you've got some ideas. Go ahead and put them on video and release them. Even if they're not fantastic, at least you've done something. So that's what I did. And, you know, my first efforts in digital editing were not that great. But eventually got together with Jim Williams and the group that we had together there. We did some stuff with Jim. And then we moved over to HarrisFilm Productions when I had HarrisFilm on hiatus for a couple of years. And I went ahead and said, you know, in early 2023, late 2022, fine, I'm just going to do it. And so got together and created the film called Captain Ross' Final Message. Got some attention there, and the rest is history. So,
cool.
I love your background there, David.
Thank you.
I could see the moon-based guy walking up behind you very easily.
That's Deep Space Station K2's lounge, where the public affairs officer resides.
Spacious. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you feel up to it, I would like to show you something I've been working on. Thanks, Kenny. This is a very rough cut of a remastered version of Captain Ross' Final Message. The thing that it's really missing right now is my backgrounds. Some of my backgrounds aren't correct. But what we did is went back to the original film, just like when, you know, digital TV started, different companies started dusting off some old shows and redoing the VFX, like Star Trek. So I'm like, VFX are fine, but let's redo the backgrounds and see what we can get by with. So here's what I did. Like I said, this is a rough cut, work in progress, but nobody's seen it but us.
This is Task Force 78.
Also thought it was missing a point
I like
at the
that.
beginning. So I had
I like that.
Admiral Vandenboss's speech added. Fantastic VFX, Ken.
I'm very disappointed. The fact of the matter, Commodore Boone, is that you were given a milk run. You were to take the ambassador from point A to point B. That was the total summation of your duties. You were not to engage the ambassador in idle conversation. You are a rank officer. The ambassador asked to take this as the position of Starfleet, and a great insult. You don't have to screw up in order to get my attention.
Well, you play a good tough guy.
Yeah. Don't mess with the Admiral.
Is Task Force 78.
Special thanks to Jeff Barnes, who did the majority of the original editing, sound, music, you name it. He was the workhorse on this film, the original version.
I just love the music and the presentation here.
I like that.
Notice I redid the graphics there again. Everything should be red now. Doesn't say he hailed anymore.
This is Captain Roth. This may be my one and only chance of transmission to the outside. I have been wrongfully imprisoned, and I have done nothing wrong. This was an attempt to delete me from the system in Starfleet. I am now left for dead on Mud's planet, which is run by the androids. Very, very weak. Commodore Boone has freed Harry Mudd from the android's custody in exchange for my own imprisonment and silence.
Communication Officer's Log, Stardate 4762.14. I've recently made a startling discovery in the comms logs. I'm choosing not to disclose that information at this time. However, there's only one other person aboard this ship I can trust with this kind of information.
Personal log. JT Stahl recording. Computer, what time is it? Give me the start date and insert it into the personal log.
The time is 0100 hours on Thursday, February 14, 2267. The star date is 4762.29.
Okay. Continue recording. Today marks the 4th month that I've been on board USS Columbia as security chief, but the circumstances are very strange. After Captain Roth disappeared, everyone he knows, whether they were close friends and associates or just acquaintances, were transferred from whatever command they were at. Everyone on board USS Crytek was also reassigned for no good explanation. This order was given by none other
than Commodore Boone. Nobody knows where Captain Roth is. Not even Starfleet intelligence. How do you say goodbye to your best friend? I'm hoping, maybe, by officiating the services tomorrow on board this ship, that I can bring some comfort and closure to at least the crew of USS Columbia. What's that?
Commander Stahl, you have a Priority 1 encrypted message from Lieutenant Griffin. It is marked top secret for your eyes only.
Okay, put it through.
Commander, I've just discovered a deleted log file from our comms logs. You're definitely going to want to check this out. Watch this in a secure and private location. Definitely let me know how you want to proceed. Lieutenant Griffin out.
You didn't hear it from me.
Okay, fast code, decrypt.
This is Captain Roth. I have been wrongfully imprisoned. Commodore Boone has freed Harry Mudd from the android's custody.
What?
In exchange for my own imprisonment and silence.
I'll fix his little red wagon. It's good to have close friends in low places at a time like this. I know just who to call.
Got some serious sound issues
Computer,
here, Steve.
open hailing frequencies.
Hailing frequencies are open.
Who is calling me?
Dylan, it's Commander Stahl.
Who is calling me this late?
Dylan, this is Commander Stahl, USS Columbia. Security officer, remember?
What?
This is Commander Stahl. I have some... Yes, I need you to listen. There's an encrypted attachment.
Who's calling?
This is Commander Stahl of the USS Columbia. Security officer, check the attachment.
What?
Somebody tried to completely delete this
Where?
from the system. If we're caught even talking to each other, Boone will make us disappear too.
Send me the data packet.
Yes, okay. Here you go.
Transmission complete.
If you need anything else, let me know. Commander Stahl out.
I've been missing for approximately 4 months now. It wasn't long after my message to Commodore Boone about the Vulcan ambassador that I went missing. This was a personal attack against me. I knew things that Boone never wanted me to know, and I had to be silenced. He couldn't afford for the truth against him to be leaked. Boone and his crew had tracked down the location of the USS Crytek and intercepted my ship. I thought it was just going to be another friendly meetup, and instead I was captured. Boone and his men had assaulted me and my crew. My ship was completely blindsided by his attack. I am now a prisoner on Mudd's planet. This planet is run by androids. Approximately 200,000 of them, who are very strong. You cannot fight them. So far, I've barely stayed alive. I don't know how much longer I will continue to survive in these conditions. On this planet, in their custody. This is my final message. Boone, if by chance you receive this, consider this a warning. I will stop at nothing to bring you and your men to justice. Captain Roth.
We're coming for you, Roth. Hang tight. We're coming. Get my ship ready. Now. The cavalry is on its way.
Fantastic practical effects by Mark.
Set base to direct EMP mode. I want every android on that rock deactivated.
Alrighty. Yeah, I know it's a rough cut. There are some, patches that need work, but So what'd you think, Jim? I see you're out there. Talk to me, dude. So we had a couple of additions, here and there, and a couple of rearrangements, but mostly it's intact. And as part of the dialogue is almost completely what Jeff had created, and I think that it does the original a justice. It improves what we have. Although Roy always says, "Why are you messing with it? It's fine like it was," right? But as an artist, there was always something that bugged me about the film, and that was that speech that was missing at the beginning that we just added. And then, of course, some of the VFX we didn't have in the can yet when we released the original, so I added a couple of those. So, well, thank you.
Got to be impressed with Jeff. He did this originally all on his own, and he
exactly
did this great acting here. You realize that he shot this himself remotely while he was on the ground.
Right.
He shot this and he picked an unflattering position, whatever else, but it also added something to the whole thing.
Realism.
There was some realism. There was some grit. There was consequences to this, or whatever else. But see, this wasn't just this wasn't this was more involved. It had consequences.
Right.
So, I think it elevated, lifted the entire production, in a simple way, especially with just being himself.
Right.
So I think it's there's a reason why it attracted as much attention as it did, because it wasn't typical.
Yeah, Matt said he filmed this part about 1 a.m. So that's another thing is as filmmakers using green screen technology, you can film whenever you're available. especially if you're going to film on your own. I'm my own worst director. I have to get my wife to direct me or one of you guys through StreamYard. Okay. I don't have, I mean, I could direct others and I feel like I'm a good director that way. But when I try to direct myself, I'm my own worst actor. Okay. As an actor, I cannot perform what this director wants. I don't know why. It's just the way it is. But when my wife
Matt's
is
performance was
directing,
also very realistic, very
yes,
naturalistic,
yes,
uh, and he just brought the character to life.
absolutely. So, you know, and the whole production came together because Jeff was the man behind the scenes, and we appreciate everything he did for us. But he also said, "Hey, dude, you know, I'm not a Star Trek fan, so I'm playing this as me, basically." And you know, I'm like, it works. So we, you know, we filled him in on the gaps about Harry Mudd and Mudd's Planet, androids, and that kind of thing. And you know, our core group got together and wrote and rewrote and tweaked the script before we filmed it. Then we skimmed it, filmed it, and he probably had it edited. The base edit was done within a couple of days after everybody turned in all their footage. And then we scrounged around and got some video effects, visual effects. Ken had produced some shots of the Columbia and such that we had asked for earlier for another production, and they were ready on time for the release. And I think it was March 6th that we actually released the film. And within a day or two, we were getting some attention from the guys in Australia. What are they called? Trek. I can't remember what they're calling themselves over there in Australia, but those guys used to nominate people. They would just go scour the internet and YouTube for Star Trek films, Star Trek fan films, and they entered us in a contest that we had no knowledge of, you know. And they're like, and next thing I know, they're calling me. They're asking me about Jeff. How do I get in touch with Jeff? You know, I'm like, why? He's like, he won the music, best music. Like, oh, okay. So, you know, that in 2023, yeah, whatever the Trek Zone Awards, we won best music, best original music. So, congratulations, Jeff. And of course, we had some MVP awards and stuff later in other, like in the showrunner awards and that kind of thing. So you liked it, okay, Jim? Yeah, and Matt, you know, Matt said it was short notice when he did it. Yeah, absolutely. It was all short notice for everybody, even though we had a script. It was
Knowing
like,
Steve, he woke Matt up in the middle of the night. I need this shot right now. And Matt was like, who's
probably
calling
Jeff
me?
did that.
Who's calling me?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was part of the act.
It is. It is. But he's adding a little realism to the situation because, you know, we hang out all day.
Reality mixed in with the fiction always makes it a little more real.
Right. Absolutely. So, you know, immediately after the film, we're like, okay, what we got to rescue Roth. What are we going to do next? So I suggested In Deep Mud and started working on that script. And we went through a lot of changes with our group. Jeff said, you know, I'll finish Where Do You Go? But that's it. After that, I'm done with Star Trek. Okay, I can respect that. Absolutely. So when we rescue Roth, it'll be a stand-in or something like a digital avatar, probably, that you won't see Captain Roth up close during the film that we're working on now. But speaking of In Deep Mud, we started immediately working on VFX for the film. And I felt embarrassed that, you know, we still haven't finished the film yet. So I produced a music video called Captain Roth is in deep mud using some of those VFX. So here we go.
This is Task Force 78.
Oh, sorry. This is Bruce's test footage for In Deep Mud. Sorry.
Personal log of King Mud the First. Star date, let's just say Wednesday.
So
your mother's a little flippant. He's got some attitude that's just like
the original.
Very concurrent with Mud.
Yeah. So Bruce, how do you feel like you did yesterday when you were filming? You feel like you got the character now?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't know. I think I am more relaxed with the character, that I feel more a part of it. You know,
yeah.
I took a few thoughts of what, like Ken mentioned and Roy mentioned. And I also talked to a couple actor friends of mine and watched a lot of acting YouTube videos to try to do a little bit better. I think I sound better, but you'll know when you look at the videos. I mean, you'll be able to tell and see how I did. And if I need an improvement, I'll be happy to find out and try to work on that.
Excellent. Yeah.
Hello, King Mud speaking.
See, I think that's perfect.
Yeah, we don't expect you to be Howard C. Kamel, but
right.
We expect you to bring yourself, your unique self, to Harry Mudd.
Right.
That's all we can ask.
That's why there's also a throwaway line in the script about you. The androids are like, "Why do you keep changing your accent? Why do you keep? What's going on with you? You're being deceptive."
Me?
But I think it'll come across more natural, as more or less yourself being Harry Mudd. Using your normal voice, your normal
right
attitude, sort of. I mean, not one that you actually use at work, but but what you would think that Mudd would do in his situation. And I think from what I've seen so far, you're on the right track. So absolutely fantastic.
Have you seen any of the David Chang footage yet?
And he's still uploading it. I've only got the
okay.
original stuff that I showed you. So
okay.
Today's quiz is: in which Task Force 78 film is Captain Roth rescued? In Deep Mud. Coming soon. Matt, I think you got the wrong StreamYard link, dude. So here's the music video, I think.
This is Task Force 78.
On Valentine's Day, NCC Section 1 was underway. Task Force 78 on patrol, no time to stray. Mr. Griffin got a final message from Captain Roth. Couldn't believe it, but he told his boss. Commander Starr caught the signal, knew something wasn't right. Said, call us as Albatross, we ride tonight. Captain Summers in the chair, Commander Drummond side scanning wide.
Columbia stands ready. We're on the winning side. We're in deep mud, baby, and the stakes are high. We're Thorian pirates and Klingons close by. No one gets left behind. We all ride or we all die. SC6H21 racing through the sky. Deep mud, ooh, ooh, deep mud. MT Foster comes with a voice like steel. Lieutenant Commander Lynn is at the wheel. LT Randy's on now. Justice for all will be so fine. With Salisbury colonial pride in every line. Captain Dillon leads the rescue with Griffin's team in place. While Columbia's standing ready just in case. If pirates or Klingons try to jump the plan, we'll line them up hard and we'll blow their popsicle stand. We're in deep mud, baby, but we won't fail. We've answered the distress, we've heard the wail. From Salisbury to the neutral zone, we give it our all. USS Columbia, we won't fail. Ooh, ooh, deep mud, heard that wail. We won't fail, we won't fail. We're in deep mud, baby, but we won't fail. We've answered the distress, we've heard the wail. From Salisbury to the neutral zone, we give it our all. USS Columbia, we won't fail. Ooh, in deep mud, baby, but we won't fail. We've answered the distress, we've heard the wail. From Salisbury to the neutral zone, we give it our all. USS Columbia, we won't fail.
Standing tall in deep mud, heard that wail. We won't fail. We won't fail. We won't fail.
Alrighty then.
All in deep mud. I hope we don't sink too much.
Yeah, I hope we don't fall in. So, also disclaimer there. There's a shot where the Albatross is firing on a Klingon ship. That's for another film, but it went with the lyrics, so that's why I put it in there. There are no Klingons fighting with the Albatross in deep mud. Just to be clear. All right. Any other comments or observations?
Good night, Mark.
Good night, Mark.
Thanks for being here, Mark.
Good night, Mark.
Good night, guys.
So,
is that a robot behind you, Mud?
No.
Is there
No.
a robot behind you? An android
No,
or something?
the white.
The big round thing. That's a fan, right?
But it looks
Yeah.
like that looks like it could be a robot head. You know.
That's his overlord monitor.
Yeah.
That's the space helmet.
Oh man, y'all are a riot.
But it could just be a monitor.
Matt's back! Yay!
I do have one question.
Yes.
What do you mean by deep mud?
It's a play on words invented by Stephen Candell, who created Mr. Mud. So, yeah, full disclosure, I do not have access to the original script that Stephen Candell created. He was going to make a pilot episode, kind of a, it was going to be another Star Trek episode, but a, what do you call that? Kind of like a Trojan horse pilot.
They were going to make a backdoor pilot.
Yeah, backdoor pilot. There you go.
Just
For
like we did with,
another series.
With Severance.
Right. They did Gary 7, and that was supposed to be a backdoor pilot for that particular show, but it never happened. And same with Harry Mudd. They created he wrote another story. He wrote 2 more stories One was In Deep Mud, which didn't get picked up, and then of course the show got canceled. But then when Roddenberry was scrounging around for scripts for the animated series, he got the other Stephen Candell Mud episode, not In Deep Mud, but the third
Mud's
one,
Passion.
the fourth one, Mud's Passion, and put that in the animated series. And so if you look at the star dates, I Mud, where he's on Mud's planet, is around January of 2267. Our film, Captain Roth and In Deep Mud, are February 14th, different parts of the day, that same year. And then Mud's Passion, the star date corresponds to around March 15th of 2267, which is weird because it's in the animated series, which is after 2269. But that's the way it actually breaks out in star dates. So, you know, we had to write, how do you get from, you know, I'm stuck on Mud's planet to now I'm being picked up by the Enterprise again in a couple months later. Then when does this happen? And we decided February 14th. Yes.
Yeah. So from my research, In Deep Mud or Deep Mud was just talked about and not really written.
Yeah, there was a
talked
sort of a
with a couple
synopsis
different
or whatever. Yeah, scenario.
Yeah, there was no real script.
Well, that makes sense. You went to UCLA and checked out the archives, right?
No, I spoke to several people about it, but I didn't get a chance to go yet. And you know, COVID and everything.
Right.
I just kind of waited. But Mud's Passion was written pretty early on too, and I think his intention was to use Mud Passion in the original series. And then of course it never came to fruition.
Right. Well, that makes sense too.
Until the anime, and that's why some of the timing is off.
That makes sense.
Can someone help me connect the dots? Because I just remember the original series show where they reprogrammed the androids to be like nagging wives.
Right. That was.
And you know what happened after that?
That's what we're working on. But yeah, what happened after that was the animated series was created, and there was an episode there in which it was very similar to Mud's Women. The Enterprise picked him up as he was trying to sell some drug that was supposed to make women attracted to men and vice versa, a passion drug. And they picked him up on fraud, rescued him before the locals were about to kill him, actually. So they left the shuttlecraft there, by the way. And he came on board with some of that illicit stuff, and it got loose. Like, it was almost like a combination of Mud's Women and the one where they all went crazy.
Yeah, it caused Spock to fall in love with Christine
that
Chapel,
one.
and then Kirk and Spock fell in love with each other. And
you're on drugs.
Oh no!
That was that fan fiction you've been reading.
Years later.
So that post.
There is that one famous shot. They threw their arms around each other. I'm so glad to have a friend like you.
Something wrong with you.
So that potion actually worked?
Yeah, but it has side effects.
Harry did not know it worked.
He thought
he had swindled the guy that invented it, and he was then trying to resell it, thinking I'm swindling these people because obviously this stuff isn't going to work, you know. But he's like passing it off and everything, and then when he finds out it actually works, he was like, and I was selling it for a measly 10 credits.
Right.
So yeah, there's so many names Mud had. It was Cinnamon Jones and Harry Mudd. Who knows what other names he had?
It worked as well as you wanted it to.
Yeah.
You
It had
Just
a
like
side
the
effect,
original
though.
one, right?
It would only last.
If you really, really wanted it to work, well, then it worked. So a lot of the energy that made it work was belief.
Psychosomatic, the
Yeah.
little pill, the sugar pill effect.
Not really, because Spock didn't even know he had been infected with it, and it still affected him. So
He's
yes,
an alien, though.
its effects were completely real. Problem is, it had the side effect is that it would only last a certain amount of time, and then the love that you felt for someone else would turn to hatred,
Right. When
and
it
then
wore off.
until it wore off.
Right.
So you basically would experience both sides of the coin.
That's got to be torture for a Vulcan. Yeah. So yeah, that's what we're talking about, David. And so that second script that became an animated episode was apparently a backdoor pilot for another series. It was going to be the title of the series was going to be called Deep Mud, if I remember correctly. So I borrowed on that and took the outline that I could find online about this story of Mud escaping from the planet with the androids. And it deals with Klingons, and we added Orions and all kinds of stuff. So
it'd be interesting for in a future one if Harry had a significant other that was an android.
yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, see,
Well,
in our movie, he's got access to all the technology, so
he was married.
He could
He
show
had
up
a
on
wife.
K2 with a wife, a new wife. Who knows? Or even Stella, but all cleaned up. Instead of being a nagging wife, being a beauty queen, right? Who just does whatever he wants. But she'll have a pendant on her, so you'll know that she's actually an android.
She is number one.
Right. Well, she'd be one. He's
Yep.
74. Show him the back. What I did on these pendants is I numbered them 2 different numbers so that the same actor or actress could play 2 different roles. Just show up on a different side of the screen or whatever, and look like twins. So, but thank you very
They
much.
could change their uniform or top or change their uniform color and then
right,
switch
exactly.
it over and then they're
exactly. So yeah, and another heads up, spoiler is that Mud, even though he was trapped by the Enterprise, really enjoyed seeing the women in Starfleet uniform. So he decided that if he had any control at all over these androids, they were going to dress properly, dang it. And so they're all in Starfleet costumes. So
lovely, aren't they?
So that's one little tweak that we did. All right. Well, if there are no more questions or comments, we need to wrap it up. We've been doing this for almost 2
I want
hours.
to mention about the one what Jim talking about Ross there. Jim created a story like a continuation. It basically, or you remember like the parallel universe, like what happened with Vance Major. He created a
yes,
another dimension. Wants
right.
to come back and destroy what the character that Vance Major played.
Right.
So Jim created a character that came from an alternate universe. He didn't like it because he was a Commodore. The other Boone was a captain. So
yeah, in the other in the mirror universe, yeah.
Other universe.
Yeah, I know about that film. It was not bad.
Yeah, mirror universe, right. And Jim wrote that character to that individual came from that universe. He wanted to destroy Boone at all costs. So that's what he tried to do. And he you almost succeeded.
It sounds like a good idea, and I've seen something that sort of jogs my memory, but that's been about 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's been with that story there, I said, instead of getting mad, create a story that the Boone that did this was an evil Boone from an alternate universe, kind of like what
Right.
Major made.
Right. Right.
Just make the story fall in place, and everything won't be contradicting each other. And
yeah, that's what we're. Yeah, and I appreciate that being clarified on the side of Commodore Productions.
Right.
It was a very good move, Jim. I appreciate that.
That was
that clarifies everything so that our Commodore Boone's not the bad guy, and I can totally get behind that 100%. I was a little confused with what we were going through in the film Sorry when we were filming that, but I just went with the went with the program, and hey, that's fine. I don't have to understand everything about a story to be the actor in the story. Okay, just tell me my motivation and I'll play the part. And that's what I did. I think that's what everybody did. And of course, Roy's standout performance in Sorry is what we tried to integrate into the beginning of this show, the remake or the remastering of Captain Ross's final message, because it's a continuing story, or it gives you the background of what happened, and then it just flows better that way. All right, so hopefully Jim agrees, and we can all be on the same page.
That's part of the story. Whenever you create something, always just take the story and create something disruptive, and that's what he did. And I give him credit for that. Mirror Universe, and he's done some several Mirror Universe ones that was pretty good.
Oh, and I know that Vance has done a lot of good quality stuff out there, especially the Mirror Universe stuff. But it's hard to keep everything straight because there's so many things going on in all of the Constar Universe films.
One all the Vance Major films. If you miss one episode, you'll get off track and don't know what's going on.
Right.
And because he will start like one episode. If you miss that next episode, you don't know what's because it touches on so many different subjects.
Right.
If you miss that one, you'll be confused.
And I'm trying to wrap everything into one film so that it's not a confusion.
And then later on, you'll understand what happened, the whole entire story.
Yeah, but you have to watch everything in order.
Now, even some of Antilles films,
Absolutely.
You have
and I love George.
Episode 1.
Yeah.
To understand what happened during the whole story.
Right.
And he's done a good job on his stories, and I've enjoyed. There's a lot of people's stories I've enjoyed and watching, and I've been watching a lot of them for a long time, and that's how I met you guys through people that we know, and I'm glad I did.
Yes. So yeah, behind the scenes, we also work with other groups. We work with Vance Major, of course, and there's Kenneth Thompson over at Saladin. Mike Studelberg over at the
Boogaloo Boys.
Yeah, we call them the Boogaloo Boys because that's part of their title in the chat group that we're in. But that's a Starship Eagle, right, Ken?
I
think it's Starship Eagle.
Yeah, I think so.
But
they have the Andorian captain.
Right. And we worked on some of the stuff behind the scenes on Ragnarok, which just came out about December, I think. And we're working on Ken's doing some VFX for him now. We've worked with Nature's Hunger, of course, Joe Cepeda, helped him with the Captain Simeon film. He's helping us with a bunch of stuff, including some Warp Speed and a Turbo Lift episodes. And hopefully we'll get Captain Simeon in the Turbo Lift with Lieutenant Rand or something, in a TOS era situation in the future.
Or who knows? Admiral Vanderbosch might be in the Turbo Lift. But you never know.
Yeah, he'll pop in, but it may not be an entirely Vanderbosch type story. It's more of a miscommunication on cultures, cultural differences between the apes and the humans. And when you say, I need to dress for the job that I want, and you show up as an admiral, that might be a problem. Yeah. And the admiral walks in and sees him in an admiral costume. He's like, what's going on here? So, yeah.
Job.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I know that I've heard several times that what we try to do is just, bring ourselves to the part,
right?
Kind of with our natural voice and, sort of bring ourselves. But is there openness to going beyond that and trying to get more like in character, maybe doing an accent or acting in some sort of behavioral mode that's different than one would normally bring?
Right. So far, what we've done is we've not created any characters that are really, really different from the actors that we wanted to portray them. So far, Admiral Vanderbosch is perfect for Roy. He may not be a real live action admiral from the Navy or anything, but he knows the part and he brings gravitas to it. And he's also in Man at Desk films as an admiral, Admiral Moore, right?
Yeah.
So, and we've been in other things too, Doctor Who. I was in a Doctor Who audio drama. Now, do I look like a Doctor Who person? No, but it's an audio drama. And on the audio drama, I sound fine. I can be a chancellor, why not? Okay. So yeah, it just depends on the character and what's going on in the film.
Okay.
I think it's perfectly fine to use an accent if you like. Scott used to say that Scott was 99%, 1% accent and 99%, James Doohan.
Right.
99% what?
James Doohan.
James Doohan. Whatever else. But he brought it on the same way. He studied technical management. He was a hobbyist engineer, and so on and so forth. Whatever else. But as far as you were just saying, with if you want to use an accent, if it plays to the character, I think that's perfectly fine.
I think like it would be fun to have a character who's has a range of emotions. One that's calm and then gets like really excited and angry, and I don't know. I'm just thinking of challenging myself with some of the actors.
Mark has created a script for multiple personalities of Dr. Jones, in which he explores that kind of a thing.
Interesting.
And so, for him, that he created his own situation where he could do that. Of course, we could probably do something like that with you, but I don't actually see your character doing that. Maybe.
You mean?
David Rushenko.
Right. I'm thinking of just beyond Rushenko, just.
As a maybe even not even a Star Trek film. We don't do just Star Trek, but mostly Star Trek style films. And it's inspired, not based on Star Trek. We're inspired by Star Trek, Space 1999, Galactica, you name it. If you look at the buildings and the architecture, the spacecraft, you can see different sci-fi type things that we've mixed and matched. So
Mhm.
we're not exclusively competing with Star Trek fan films exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
Gotcha.
Cool.
And what I think is easiest to do and best for you to do is to share truth.
Is to do what, Roy?
To share truth. And
Share
what
your
that
truth.
means is some level of truth. You know,
Right.
what you would do in an imaginary circumstance. But essentially it is true.
Right.
Right.
So you know, don't ever be caught acting if you can avoid it. You know,
Right.
what you do is you perform. You perform how you would do in that actual circumstance, how that imagined circumstance would be. You know, but you don't act, you don't pretend. You know, what you do is you be as much as you can be. You know, and you I guess am I getting you?
If I were thrust into that situation, how would I respond? What would I say? What would I do? How would I say it? How would I do it?
Absolutely. That's
Yeah.
what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And that's why, you know, when you sent us those audio recordings of David Rashenko as a TV host, basically, it was perfect. You did exactly that. Did you even know you did that?
No, what?
When you did the audio recordings for us for David Rashenko, you actually became David Rashenko.
It was your emotions,
right,
that you're expressing.
Your
You
excitement
know,
about meeting Captain Cartier and all of that, and that all translated, and we'll see that within the next couple of months in a premiere. But you've already done that. You just don't realize that you've done it.
Okay.
All right. Any last questions there? Bruce, did you have something you wanted to say?
No, I was just talking about, I mean, Roy kind of explained it, you know, the truth about, you know, it's even though it's a character that you're acting out. I think that, you know, David said it about, you know, your situation. If you were in that situation, how would you feel? You know, how would we, you know, you would express how you feel. And that's one reason why I felt more comfortable. You know, I kind of thought, you know, what if I am Harry Mudd and he's talking about, you know, like meeting the androids that he loves, you know, so I love seeing them walk into the room to help me in what I endeavor to do.
Right.
Okay.
Even though you're trapped there, you know, you made the best of your gilded cage.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think I see the difference. So like with karaoke, what I've been doing is practicing the way other people sing the songs, like covering the songs.
Right.
Okay, not trying to put so much my own original spin on it. Just trying to make it sound like, you know, if you shut your eyes, it sounds like the, you know, original guy singing the song, right?
Right.
So what
you
you're
can do that in
saying is
karaoke, but I mean, you can also do it your own way.
no,
And,
yeah.
I mean, you may not be
true.
Elvis, but you can still do your own unique sound, whether you're doing karaoke or acting or whatever. And that's why we wrote the Rashenko character the way we did, so that it would be easier for you to just play yourself. But you're in the 23rd century, and you're the public affairs officer.
Right, but it's just I'm thinking beyond that. Like, I'm thinking it. My connection to it is like thinking of like famous movies and the way like really good actors delivered their lines and how believable they were.
You become the character.
Absolutely.
Right.
You become
like the best actors. It seems like they're not acting. Like
Exactly.
I just saw this movie today called The Replacements, which is about the 1987 NFL players strike.
Mm-hmm.
And so they got Keanu Reeves to play the quarterback, and he played. They said the backstory was that he had lost the Sugar Bowl by like 40 points, and then couldn't get into the pros and stuff. And then they were able to get Gene Hackman to play the coach,
Right.
kind of like the way he did with Hoosiers.
Mm-hmm.
And like when he acts, he's just so totally in character, so believable. It doesn't even seem like he's acting. You know
of
what I
course,
mean?
they're pros and they're getting paid to do it too. So
Yeah.
don't kick yourself if you don't feel like you're, not pulling a
Right. But what I'm saying is there any benefit to taking some lines from a film like that, or any film that you feel connected to, and trying to put the energy and attitude or whatever into those lines yourself as a practice? Or is that not a good approach?
In our films, it's sort of a balance of the two. Okay. Ask Bruce, for example. What we've done is we've tweaked the script as best we can together, in our meetings for In Deep Mud, and then we give those parts out to the actors. And in this particular case, I've worked with Bruce on some stuff, but David Chang over at Star Trek Fan Films International in LA is actually filming Bruce. And I had a meeting with David Chang the other day, and he's like, how do you want him to play this? And I said, dude, number one, I trust you. I've seen your films. You do a fantastic job. And if you don't feel like you want to direct Bruce, then, bring in one of your other directors, like Camera Mikey or whoever, and let's go with that. But he's like, no, you don't understand. The question is he going to be playing the actor that played Mud, or is he going to be playing Mud? And I'm like,
right.
No, you cannot step into a well-known character's shoes, and just expect to be that person. Okay.
Right.
So we're going from the angle that Harry Mudd, when he's in front of people like Captain Kirk, has one persona, but when he's behind closed doors, he's got a different persona. And this persona in our case is basically Bruce. Okay. And one of the lines in the film is an android hears him recording his journal and says something to the effect of, why are you always changing your accent? You're being duplicitous, you're not being genuine. He's like, I'm an actor. I'm just practicing.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying is for us, and it's also easier in our films, especially since we're green screen, that if I can StreamYard in and direct you, you don't even have to memorize your lines. I'll read the lines to you.
I want to memorize my lines.
So
with Mud, I think sometimes he forgets who he's playing.
Right.
He forgets that he's actually Leo. He's not Leo Walsh.
Right.
He plays Leo Walsh long enough that is who he is. Then he only turns into Mud when he when it affects his bottom line.
Right.
So
yeah, he plays different personas, and that's what we're doing here with Bruce.
Right. So my end goal is to be able to be versatile. So like if you gave me a part where it was comedic, I could pull that out of myself. Or if you gave me a part that was serious, I could do that. If you gave me a part where I was a crazy man, I could do that too.
Yeah.
So,
but don't get wrapped around the axle, because you're going to be cast the way that the group feels like you could actually portray that character. You see what I mean? So if we were looking for a crazy person, you're not the first person I'd be looking for. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, and I hate to use that term, crazy person, but you get the idea.
Steve would be looking at me.
We're actually the characters. It's like anything now with probably be going through the prism of David Rashenko,
Right.
public relations officer. Whatever it is, it would come up as, okay, what would you do if you had to if you had to get by a security guard?
Right,
You
exactly.
you know, how would you project yourself as a playboy about town? You know,
Yeah.
what would Krashenko be like if he was going to play a James Bond type guy?
Yeah.
You,
I mean, and that could come up in a.
You were going to try to slip your way past somebody, or try to be smooth, or try to, you know,
Right.
You would take on a certain air, you would do whatever else. But the most important thing is, we still want to see Krashenko in.
Right.
You know,
And
just
see, the
like
thing
when,
is, we've got different situations we can
And
pull.
another way to look at it is,
you know, played was Bond. He was still Bashir.
Right.
You
That's
know.
what I was about to say. Is K2 has a recreation room, what you would call a holodeck in the Next Generation. We call it a recreation room. So I mean, we've got enough power on the space station to have several recreation rooms in which the characters that actually live or visit the station could do that kind of a thing. You could become a Bond character or whatever. We haven't even really discussed that, but those are options in the future. So,
yeah.
what were you going to say, Ken?
Here's another way you could think about your character, David. You're playing a public relations officer in Starfleet. We all know Starfleet psychologically tests all of its personnel on a regular basis so that they fit the person to the job. Which is why Captain Kirk attained command early in his career, because he was psychologically suited for command.
Yes, sir.
So in order to be in that public relations position, you would be playing a character who, in his heart of hearts, believes in Starfleet, believes in the mission, and holds all the ideals of Starfleet dear.
And the Federation.
So when the question arose, how would I sneak past these guards? His first response would be, why would I want to sneak past guards?
Right.
You know, that would be against the rules.
I have authorization.
Yeah, I'd go and I'd request authorization to, show my pass, and it would take an extraordinary event that would drive him to a desperation mode in order to sneak past guards.
Right.
And we're talking about an event that would likely shatter his expectations of what Starfleet would be about. Like, for instance, if Commodore Boone did something and then his character had to sneak past the guards in order to accomplish the mission to rescue Captain Roth, it would psychologically shatter his impression of what Starfleet was supposed to be. It's like, Boone, that's not what a Starfleet Commodore would be doing.
Right, and that's why
is
Jim
he doing this?
Clarified that
So,
it was
yeah,
a mirror universe guy.
Yeah, that would be a very hard thing for your character to deal with.
Right.
Because in order to be a good public relations officer, you have to believe. The best liar in the world is someone who does not know that they're lying.
Yeah. You believe in the entire the flag and country and
so when Starfleet declassifies an operation and then drops it in your lap and says, present this to the public, you would look at it and you'd find a way.
Spin.
Yeah, you'd find a way to present it in as positive a spin as possible, keeping in mind how it's going to make Starfleet look, and does it fit with the Starfleet ideals.
And I have experience in real life.
If they dropped something into your lap that said, well, we conducted this operation deep within Klingon space, and we assassinated 6 members of the Klingon High Council. You would be going, wait a minute. We did what?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you wouldn't be able to wrap your brain around it because that's
Mhm.
not what Starfleet does.
Well, I watched, Caroline Leavitt, as the president's White House press secretary. And sometimes I wonder if she believes everything that, she says, but
That's
she
the thing
100%,
is,
she 100% backs the president no matter
and
what.
you're in that position where you're 100% back whatever Admiral Vandenbosch says. And you
Mhm.
have to realize, number one, as the public affairs officer or spokesman for the Admiral, you're going to have the same basic clearance that he
Yeah.
has. So you're going to know what is classified and how to
And here's
clean it
something
up,
else to consider. A public relations officer has to be a true believer.
Right.
You said you believe Carolyn Leavitt is a true believer. Jen Psaki, who was Biden's press secretary for a
Right.
while, was also a true believer.
Right. Just a different style.
Look at her. Whenever she would be presented with something that didn't quite match reality, she had a response, and she got mocked for this a lot. It was, I will circle back and get, because in her mind it's like,
That doesn't
okay,
make any sense.
I can't,
So,
if
if it's real,
I
I've got to
can't
find out.
match my
Mhm.
worldview with what this question is intimidating. So
Right.
I have to investigate this and then circle
Come
back.
to you. Yeah.
And of
Mhm.
course, she would never actually circle back, but
Maybe
but that
she
was
did
her.
privately. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That
so
was
we
her
don't want to get into
response.
politics, but that's
Yeah.
the basic idea. When I was public
Well,
affairs
that's what I mean
assistant,
is
that's
that
what I had to
she
do.
was a true believer.
Yeah.
So whether you consider her to be right or wrong, it doesn't matter.
Right.
She
Right.
believed in what she was saying at the time she was saying it.
And that's
Right.
absolutely 100% your character.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, we got to wrap it up, dude.
Thank you.
We've been over the almost 2.5 hours, and I usually try to restrict our videos to an hour. But I really appreciate you showing up. I appreciate the audience. A special shout out to our friends and fans in Italy and France and Germany, UK. Thank you very much for all of your support and over the years, especially lately. Mark Anthony Craig, fantastic VFX, cinematic models that you do. And there's some others out there that are doing stuff that they'll be in the credits, and I may not be able to remember their names right this minute. Of course, our prop guys. You got Christopher Schindler, who does a fantastic job. Those pendants wouldn't exist if Christopher weren't able to convert. Somebody, either Dan Zimmerly or Christopher. I think Dan converted the image into an actual model, and then he and Schindler both created some of those for us. So they look fantastic, and it's designed so that I could put a light in there and make it actually blink, which I've shown some examples of to the people that are going to have to deal with them. So,
I'm
it
making
comes apart.
smaller versions.
Right. And I'll get you those dimensions. You can make more. But that's the idea is, we're one small group. Good night, Jim.
Take care, Jim. Good night.
We're a small group, but we do a lot of things. And that's one reason that things don't get out really quickly is there's a lot of projects that are ongoing. We get to a point where we need a VFX or another shot or whatever, and it gets set aside. We work on the next project that's got the most done on it already. And then, continue until something's done. But we don't release something like this video I showed you tonight. That's a special treat, or horror story, either way, where you see that we've got a work in progress where it's a very rough cut, and the VFX may not be edited properly, although they were fine. The edit is rough. The sound doesn't match the video and some of the things that I was doing, that kind of a thing. And when we get it, we have a quality control meeting, and then it gets released. So you'll see the things when it's actually ready to be seen, and not until then. you know, apologies, but that's the way it goes.
It's definitely coming along. It's really good.
Thank you. So hopefully, you know, that'll be sometime this year. All right. Well, thank you for the happy birthday wishes and the anniversary. And I appreciate you being here. And we'll see you next time. For those of you who joined us, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. See you on the next go around.
I know.
In alien halls or hangars wide, they carry the dream on every tide. The voyage continues, the vision's clear. HarrisFilm Productions is always near. HarrisFilm Productions, Task Force 78. The stuff dreams are made of, from Salisbury's rings to the stars above. Through fan film frontiers and review beams bright, we ride with HarrisFilm into the light. Together, beyond the stars.
HarrisFilm Productions, boldly bringing fan films where none have gone before.
What was that?
Hold on.
What was that shot of Kahlua attacking my beard?
Looked like a big video having fun on that
one of those grot things.
Happy birthday to you.
Transmission complete. You are watching Task Force 78.
Yes, ma'am.
Good night.
Boy.